Hello guys, good evening. Good evening all. So if you are getting error in VS Code while running C++, make sure you follow all the installation steps properly so that your compiler will be running smoothly. That will be the most probably error you may get when you are going with VS Code. Good evening guys. Good evening everyone. Very good evening and welcome to day 5 of our C++ Masterclass. Am I audible? Can you see my screen? Can I get some response in chat box? Good evening. Very good evening, all. Good evening, everyone. Very good evening. Yeah. Welcome to day 5. I hope we have seen few topics on day 4. Can you guys refresh what all contents we have seen on day 4? Please post it down in chat box. The topics we have seen on day 4. I need some responses in chat box regarding topics from day 4. Waiting for your response. Yeah, thank you for the confirmation. Good evening. Very good evening. Post down, guys. Post down answers in chat box. The topics we have covered on the previous day, day 4. Yes, we have seen about operators. What all different type of operators we have seen? We have seen about operators, right? We have seen about arithmetic operator, comparison operator, augmented assignment operator, right? What else? We have seen about logical operators, bitwise operators. Very good. Very good, guys. Very good. So in this session on day 5, we will be completing some basics. Okay. So this is like all the left out things, some basic few things we'll be discussing. We have a few of the topics here. And day 6 we'll be discussing about conditional statements or control flow statements. And day 7 will be for looping statements. And day 8 will be for coding challenge. And day 9, 10 and all we'll be moving into arrays. Then I'll be discussing about pointers and a lot of new topics we are going to encounter. Okay, so yeah, I hope we can start with day 5. Yeah, we have also discussed about number systems. Very good. We have seen about how to convert a number from decimal to binary and then binary to decimal. So first we are going to discuss about type conversions. For example, you may got some issues. For example, before going into this type conversion, I just want to show you this example. I am going to have integer x equal to 2 and integer y equal to 10. Okay, and if I divide, for example, standard C out, if I divide x by y, what will be the answer I'll be getting? Post it down in chat box. What will be the answer if I divide x by 5 here? Please note down the data types and then decide the answer. What will be the answer here? The answer will be, it will be 0. And the reason is, you are trying to use two integers to divide. Obviously the integer, if you round it off, you will be getting only 0. And the reason is, okay, this is integer, and in such scenarios where you want to actually, what you can do is you can typecast this. Okay, so what is typecasting or type conversion? So type conversion in C++ refers to the process of converting a value from one data type to another. You can convert a value from one data type to another, and this can be done explicitly or implicitly depending on the situations. And there are two main types. One is implicit type conversion, another one is explicit type conversion. Okay, so implicit means automatic conversion by the compiler itself, and explicit means you are manually doing it. Okay, so when we talk about this conversion, the implicit conversion is performed automatically by the compiler without any expression or any instruction from the programmer, and it occurs when assigning a value of one data type to another and performing operations involving operands of different data types. This conversion will automatically done. Okay, for example, if you try to do, for example, divide with float 10.0, then the conversion will be done automatically, so that you will be getting 0.2. Even x is integer and y is a float value, your result will be of float, because this is automatically converted. This is implicit conversion. Okay, clear? You can also manually convert this. You can perform a explicit conversion by you manually. Okay, so what you can do is, you can, for example, explicit casting allows you to change, or in implicit you have another thing. For example, let me tell this scenario where your integer x is going to be 6, and I am going to store a float value y, which is also going to be x. Okay, so what will be the answer now? Post down. If I just use standard console output and print the result of y in the console, what will be the value of y, whether it will be 6 or 6.0? If you understood this concept correctly, you can guess the answer. Post it down. Yes, what will be the answer? What will be the answer, guys? Value will be 6.0. So this is also implicit conversion. Okay, we are getting it as 6, even though it is a float, it is 6 which we are getting. We will try with, for example, you can declare this as a float here, and let us try it now. Okay, still we'll look into it. For our surprise, it is giving us 6 only in the result. So we can also perform an explicit casting, which allows you to change the data type of a value to a different type, okay, ensuring that it is interpreted and processed correctly by the compiler. And this is particularly useful when you need to perform operations or assignments involving variables of different data types, and you want to control the conversion behavior explicitly. For example, we have a scoring scenario here. Let me do this and let us try to do this. For example, let me go with integer correct equal to 6 questions out of integer total is actually 10 questions, and we are going to get the score of that particular user. Okay, so I am going to do something like double result, okay, equal to, so I am going to divide correct answers divided by the total answers, and then I am going to multiply them with 100 as well, so I can get the percent like this. Okay, so we are dividing this and then multiply it with 100, and then I am going to use standard console output and I can display the result. So what will be the result here for this particular user? You are having two integers, one is 6, another one is 10. You are trying to divide it and you are trying to multiply them with 100. Now with this particular code, if I run this, what will be the output? What will be the output? The output will be 0, because correct divided by the total will be 0, and multiply by 100 it will be 0. Okay, so in such scenarios, you know that if it is 10.0, you can get it in float value, so you can implicitly or you can explicitly convert or declare this total as a double value here. So that total is now a double value, it will be turned into a double value. And if you try to divide 6 by 10.0, okay, you will be getting the 0.6 as a result, and then multiply it with 100, you will be getting 60% in the result. Okay, so that's how you can explicitly convert this. This is type conversion. Clear about type conversion? Clear about this? Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? Previously we had this glitch, right? Let us try to sort that down, or let us see in such scenarios what we can do. Why to skip that? Okay, so we had something like integer x equal to 6, and we went with float y equal to x, which here we will try to explicitly cast it as float value or double. So if I run this, okay, still it is 6. Try to do it, or I'll look into this particular problem and tell you the results in the next class. Okay, We are printing y only, displaying that in the result the value of x is not changing here. So we'll look into that later in the upcoming session. Remember, you guys asked that in the next session as well. I'll be answering for that in the next session. And let us move into the next part, which is called as Sizeof. Okay, so if you guys remember, when we discussed this session, we'll be seeing about lot of bits and parts of lot of topics, because we are winding up a part of very basics in this session, and we are going to jump into the next one, which is going to be like conditional statements and looping statements from the upcoming session. So we are starting with Sizeof. So if you guys remember, we have discussed a couple of days back about data types, right? Data types, we had some primary primitive data types, okay, and then we went into some other modifiers as well, and we have seen that in that chart it is having some respective size and all. For example, the storage size of integer is going to be, generally it will be 4 bytes of memory, okay, of a double will be 8 bytes of memory. So all these things you can actually manually get it with the help of Sizeof. Okay, so Sizeof is a command. You can determine the size of a data type or an object using the Sizeof operator, and this Sizeof operator returns the size of its operand in bytes. Okay, so this size of data type may vary depending on the compiler and system architecture. It may vary between us, but still it will be around a general play value, so it will be common. For example, if I am having integer x equal to 10, okay, so I can use standard console output, and then I can enter Sizeof. I can pass anything inside that respective size of that particular variable, okay, in bytes will be displayed in the result. For example, if I pass x, if I run this, so the size of your integer, whatever number you have, it will be actually 4 bytes of memory. Okay, so you can also add some contents like space bytes. Okay, so the integer holds 4 bytes. Even you don't want an integer, you can directly, if you want to find, you can directly pass integer here. So what's the size of integer? It will give you 4 bytes. Long integer, 4 bytes once again. Long integer, 8 bytes. See here, when you go with long integer, the minimum and maximum value it can hold, the limit will increase and the size will be increasing to 8 bytes. At the same time, for example, if you are going with shortened, remember shortened will have something like 2 bytes of memory. It will take very less, and it also has a less a limit. For example, it can go from minus 32 something to plus 32,000. Okay, so that is the range it is available for it to proceed further. And not only this, you can also check for the float values. Okay, float value hold to 4 bytes. Double holds 8 bytes, I hope so. And you also have a concept which is long double, which is more precision, and you will be getting around 10 bytes, I hope so. Okay, it is 16 bytes. Okay, what all data type we have? We have character data type. Character data type holds 1 byte of memory, only one character, and it stores just 1 byte of memory for it to store. Okay, and we have boolean data type. Boolean, so boolean also takes 1 bytes. And any guess what will be the size required for our string data type? String data type, how many bytes of memory? Can you guys post down any guess what it could be? Have you know that, guys? Previously, do you guys know that? Yes, so this will take a huge size like 32 bytes of memory. Okay, a string data type will take 32 bytes of memory, and you can use whenever you are in doubt. Later on we'll be discussing about array concept and all. There you can pass the variable name of your array and you can get the total size, and there are a few more play with this, or you can get the size of, or you can also get the total number of elements in your array and all. When we discuss about array concept, we'll discuss that. Fine, so that is Sizeof operator. And next we are going to discuss about numeric limits. Okay, so this is also related with the size and data type. We guys discussed that for every data type there is a particular limitage. For example, if it is a short integer, I also told that there is a negative 32,000 to positive 32 something. So if you don't know what is the size limit, you can have this numeric limit, okay, in C++ with the help of standard numeric underscore limits. It is a template class defined in the limits header that provides information about the properties of arithmetic types at compile time, and it allows you to retrieve various characteristics of numeric types, their minimum value, their maximum value, precision, and properties like whether they are signed or not can be also be obtained. And this will be helpful when you want to decide, you can decide which data type you can proceed with that. For example, you can use hash include limits, okay, hash include limits, and then what you can do is you can go and call standard numeric underscore limits, and near to that you can use what data type you want to compare. I want to first compare for integer, and you can use operator and then go with minimum operator for finding what is the minimum limit and maximum for getting the maximum value. So let us try to repeat the same. First I have to add hash include, and instead of these things I'll just go with, you can go and call standard numeric limits, and I'll pass integer. For integer we are going to get, okay, and then I want for minimum value, and then standard end line. So let us get the minimum value for your integer data type. So that is actually minus 214783648. Okay, clear? So you can also get a maximum value if you pass, for example, instead of minimum, if you pass max, you will be getting the maximum value of that. Okay, so this is the maximum. So simply what I'll do is I'll just change it into minimum. I'll copy this, okay, and I'll add a hyphen. I will add some spaces and add a hyphen. Then we'll go with pasting this with maximum value so that we can get it in a single line. Okay, and let me run this. So this is the range from -2, or you can just give it as 2, so that is also not denoted as negative sign. So this is for integer. Similarly, if you go for short int, you will be getting from minus 32,768 to, okay, here also we need to change it as short int. So this is their respective limit. For example, if you try to go for long integer minimum value to long integer maximum value, and if you want you can pass signed and unsigned as well. Okay, let me run this. So this is the value. See here, what is the count? I don't know how to count or pronounce these numbers. This is the maximum limit you get, okay, for a long integer, which is actually signed. If you go with unsigned, do we have that? You'll be getting the doubled version of this. Okay, so 0 is the minimum limit because you are going from unsigned, so there is no negative. And what is the maximum in positive? So it is going to be 0 to 18 4467 440 7370 955 1615. Okay, so this is for integer. You can also check for long double minimum value, and then you can go for long double maximum value. Let us see this. So 3.3621 e to the power minus 4932 to plus 1.18973 e to the power plus 4932. So this is what the maximum limit is. Okay, so these limits you can get with the help of limits and numeric limits by passing. See the syntax. This is how you have to pass for minimum value, then maximum value. And if you are building any program, you may need this functionality where you want to decide what could be, like for example, if you are storing, you are going to store age of a person. Mostly we will be going with integer, and just short int is enough because you are just going to the maximum value can reach around 100. That can be the max, right? You can also go with unsigned because no value of age will be negative. And if you are going to store a bank balance, you can decide it can go from any range, so you will be deciding based on maximum limit. So that's how you will be deciding with the help of your numeric limits. I hope it's clear. And if you want to convert this masterclass into 1 month certified internship on C++, you can join as internship user. You will be getting 30 days of live sessions, 90 days of access to all the records, source code file every day what we write. You will be getting the C++ file, CPP file, project files, PPTs, 4 hackathon with coding interview sessions. The first session is going to happen tomorrow. So if you want to attend it live in Zoom and get your doubts clarified with personalized support, at the same time watch hackathon with coding interview sessions, you can join and you will be getting 5 additional DSA topics, downloadable PPTs, internship confirmation letter, and then internship certification when you complete this internship. So the regular fee is 1,999 and the discounted fee is 899, and the registration link is posted in chat box, and batch 1 ends today. By today batch 1 ends, so if you are planning to buy, please make it ASAP. The link is provided in chat box. So for the internship users, we will be providing additional DSA topics, data structures and algorithms. At the same time, you also have hackathon sessions, interview coding questions, and hackathon for clarifying personalized support. And the first session is going to happen tomorrow. And in this internship we have 3 projects: hotel management system console application, taxi booking console application, and railway ticket reservation system console application. So all these code files and all you can get it if you join the internship. You can get all these benefits. So the link is posted in chat box. You can get all these benefits by registering, and the batch 1 ends today, and we have our first hackathon and coding interview session tomorrow. By tomorrow we'll be having it. Clear? So can we start with the next topic? So the link, please note it down. If you are planning to buy, make it ASAP. So going into the next one, we are going to discuss about math functions. Okay, so we have done some basic maths in previous session, but apart from that you also have some complex tasks. But instead of you manually writing the formulas and proceeding with it, you can also get some predefined operators on this. So we'll be using that now. So let us go first with math functions. So in C++, we have a header file which is called as cmath. It is a standard header file that provides mathematical functions and constants for floating point types. And this header is a part of the C++ standard library, and it is commonly used when working with numerical computations. For example, you can add this hash include cmath, and you can compare minimum value between A or B, or more than that you can get a maximum value between them, or like that you have all these formulas. For example, absolute value, cosine value, sine value, cube root, square root, seal, okay, round, floor, and power. All these things can be obtained with the help of cmath. If you include it, you can use it with standard function. For example, let us do some progress with this. Let me add hash include cmath. Okay, so let me go and start with, let us start with basic one. I have integer x equal to 2, 3, or any number, or integer y equal to 5, and if I want to compare, I can go and do standard cout. Okay, so standard minimum value between x or y, you can call that. Okay, and let me run this. 2 is the minimum value, so we are getting that in the output. Okay, let me run this once again. 2 is the minimum value, so we are getting that in the output. Instead, let me do something like this: 2, 2, 3, and 21. What is the minimum value? 21 is going to be the result. Ignore x and y. We have this. For example, if I want to add another number, I want to compare between 3 numbers, I can simply do what I can do is, instead of this 21, if I want to compare between, okay, let me tell you, between 3 numbers, 23 and 1 and 223, I want to find who is the minimum number between these 3. So what I can simply do is, while comparing with any number, I can once again call this standard, okay, minimum, and inside of that I am going to pass two numbers 23 comma 1. So now among 23 and 1, who is the small one, that will be picked, which is 1, and that is placed here. And who is minimum between 223 and 1? 1 is the smallest one, so you will be getting 1 in the result. So let me run this. Your output will be 1. Okay, so that is your standard minimum. Like that you can use maximum value. Okay, so this will return the maximum between them, that is 2 to 3, right? So that's how you can use these functions. And apart from that, you have a lot of max functions. For example, we'll use standard cout with standard square root of number, for example 4. Okay, square root is 2, and you can also do power. Okay, so power, it will take the first number will get to the power of, or for example 4 to the power 3. Okay, that is actually cube root, right? Anyway, it is 64. Instead you can also go with CBRT, which is for cube root of 4. You can directly pass 4 alone, it will perform cube root, and that is cube root you will be getting 1.5874, that is a cube root of 4. Okay, so like these things you also have, we'll be discussing few more things which is very important, which is called as, we have for rounding off. Okay, any float number to integer, you have some details. For example, you have ceil, you have floor, you have a round. So what do they do? Okay, if you have a float number, any decimal point, you can convert it into a whole number, but that can be done with the help of ceil, and that can be done with the help of floor, that can also be done with the help of round. So what do they do? Okay, yes, you can use namespace, using namespace or using standard cin. Like I had it in the habit of writing it out, so I am just entering that and going with that. So you can do whatever you want. Okay, fine. So now we will create three integers. Okay, float values actually. Float x equal to 3.4. Okay, and float y equal to 3.5. Float z equal to 3.6. So why am I doing this? Is three different things. See here, one is actually between 3.5 at the middle. Okay, anything less than 3.5, and one is greater than 3.5. So if you are planning to convert this into integer, how different math functions do it, let us see. For example, cout, I'll go with standard. Okay, so let me pass. Clear guys, why there are a lot of unwanted talks in the chat box? Let us focus on the topics. Okay, is it clear till now? Can we continue with the session? Is it clear guys? Post down some emojis or response in chat box, we can continue. So here you have, for example, you have ceil, it is like ceiling. Okay, so you can pass any value. I'll pass x, inline. Okay, I have to add this using standard inline, and I'll use cout. Okay, standard ceiling, I'll pass y, and then inline. Okay, and then I'll pass cout, standard ceil, and I'll pass z. Okay, inline. Fine. So I'll just copy this, and I'm going to do the same for thrice, which is going to be with floor. Okay, for these numbers, and this is going to be round. Okay, so understand what do they do carefully, because it may be required and it can alter your functionality. So let me clear the screen and run this. Okay, so yeah, don't get confused. The first three, when I go with ceil, if I go with 3.4 or 3.5 or 3.6, whatever the number, it is like ceiling, which means at the top. Okay, so it is going to round it off, or it is going to convert it into an integer which is higher number, which is they are encoded or turned into 4. Okay, so they are turned into integer 4, even though they will be very less. Even if it is 3.1, it is going to be 4. If you go with floor option, it is like the bottom, so it is going to go to the bottom, which means it is not going to pick 4, it is going to turn it into 3, because even it is 3.999, it is going to turn it into 3. That is floor option. And then you have round option, which is going to round off. Okay, which means anything less than 3.5 will be turned into 3. See here, this is actually 3. 3.4 is turned into 3 when you round it off. Anything which is equal to 3.5 or greater than that will be rounded to the above, which is 4. So it is in between. You can see this is 344. Clear? Clear about seal, floor and round? Is it clear, guys? Is it clear about this? Are we guys clear in this? Seal, floor and round. Do you guys have any doubt in this? How it works? This will take to the above number or highest number. This will take it lower. And this, based on if it is less than 3.5, it is below. And then if it is greater than or equal to, it is going to be the above number. Clear? Yes? Fine. So now we are going to make some simple program here. So the first program we are going to do is program for finding circle circumference. Okay, for finding circumference of a circle, we are going to write a program. Okay, can we start? Fine. So how to find circumference of a circle? So the formula is actually c equal to 2 into pi into r. Okay, so if you multiply this, you need to get the radius of that circle from your user, and based on the radius you can find the circumference of the circle. This is the formula. So let us write a functionality for this. It is going to be very basic. Okay, so let me remove these things and let me start freshly. We need to get in like radius. Okay, so I'll go with double radius. Okay, and then I'll go with constant float pi equal to 3.14. I'll stop it here, and then okay, I'll display Cout and I'll pass enter radius of your circle okay, and this what it will do, you can use console input and store it in the radius. Okay, and with these things you can do a console output and tell that the circumference of the circle is, you can leave a space and you can do some max here, which is 2 into pi multiplied by the radius. Okay, and this is going to give you the respective answer. So let me clear the screen and run this. So the radius I'll enter, for example, 4. So this is going to be the particular circumference of that circle. Okay, so how do we do that? We are implementing the formula and we are using basic input and then doing some basic math to provide the output. So this is first program. So the next we are going to do is program for finding hypotenuse of a triangle. Okay, for example, for finding any hypotenuse, the longer side you can find it with the help of the shorter sides like a and b. So if you first square them and add them and take a whole square root of the result, you can get the result, which is the hypotenuse. So we need to apply this formula in program. So for that we need a, b and c. Okay, so what is a, b? So you can go with double a comma b. Okay, so you can display Cout, enter a is displayed to the user, and then console input and store it inside a, and you can do console output once again and ask for enter b. The b side length c input, I'll store it inside b. Okay, let me do or decide, I'll just turn it into integer for now. We'll go with as integer. Okay, and after storing this I can do console output. Okay, or you can also have, for example, a c, which is the result. You can calculate and then display c equal to, what do we do? We need to do some few steps. For example, you want to take standard square root of the result, but what we are taking square root, we want to perform something which is standard. So the first thing is standard power of a comma 2. Okay, so the value of a square will be getting here plus standard power of b comma 2. Okay, so this results gets added and then taken square root. Are we clear this? A square plus b square, the whole root, will be getting the hypotenuse, and finally I'll return C out. The side C is I'll pass the value of C. Okay, let us run this. So enter A, I'll enter it as 5 and B as 7. So the C side is actually 8 according to this formula. Is it? 5 square is 35, 7 sevens are 49, add them and take a square root. I hope if you add it, it will be 64, taken a square root, it is 8 and that is the result. Okay, so is it clear guys till now? Is it clear with these two programs? In next session, after learning conditional statements, we are going to write a program for a basic calculator as well. Okay, and in the meantime, so if you want to convert this masterclass into 1 month certified internship on C++, you can join. You will be getting the benefits like 30 days of live sessions, 90 days of access to all the records, source codes and project files, 4 hackathon with coding interview sessions, 5 additional DSE topics, downloadable PPTs, internship confirmation letter and then internship certification when you complete this internship. So you can avail this at regular fee is 1,999 but the discounted fee is 899 and the registration link is posted in chat box. It is available in the description as well. So the batch 1 ends today. So if you are planning to get this, you can get it today and you can get the benefits fully with the first interview coding questions and hackathon session as well. Okay, clear? And you will be getting additional DSE topics, hackathon sessions and coding files of code files, project files of hotel management system console application, taxi booking console application and railway ticket reservation system console application will be given for the internship users. And yeah, so we are going to move into the final part of this session, which is going to be output formatting. Okay, after this we'll be discussing some complex tasks or intermediate topics, okay, in next session. So we are starting with output formatting. So output formatting in C++ involves controlling the appearance and layout of data when it is printed to the console or other output streams. Okay, for example, you have a header file which is called as IO manip. Okay, it is for input output manipulations. It is used to manage input and output formatting. It gives the user the power to control output formatting process such as alignment, text formatting and numeric precision in the console for better data visualization. For example, you can use #include IO manip and then you can go and display. For example, if you want to display or if you want to have a width, you can use set W, which is set width, and you can enter a number that much empty spaces will be left. For example, let me do something like this. Let me take this out. Okay, so I am going to go and enter, for example, integer number equal to 123 or anything, whatever it is, fine. I am going to display standard console output and then I can use, before that I want to include #include. Okay, what is that? What is the header file we want to include? Post it down in chat box guys. It is IO manip, right? So with that, now I can call standard. Okay, set width. If I want, I can set a width of 10 here, or if I want, I can increase that as well. First we'll set with 10 and then I'll pass the value of number here and let us see what is going to be the output. So let me clear this off and let me run this first. You can see there is empty spaces here, so that is actually the 10 width which we have added. So if you want, you can add it or convert it into 15 width. So you can lively see that the 15 width will take it here, and if you go with 30, it is going to double that, or you can increase it so you can use other spaces as well. Okay, so that is set width from IO manip. Also, You can also use this set fill, which means if you are creating any white spaces with, you can also add this set fill, which means those empty spaces will be filled with these symbols. For example, you can do something like this, where you can go with standard, okay, set fill, and you can pass any symbols inside. For example, let me add character, which is hashtag. So all the 30 places now will be having hash, and then you will be having 1 2 3. Okay, so that is set w and set fill combinations. This can be done. You can also do it other side as well. For example, let us do standard set width for 30 here also, and then I'll also add standard set fill. I'll pass here at ampersand symbol. Okay, let us try to run this. Okay, so the thing is, it will be at the beginning only, you can't get it on the next side. So in the start you can get with this standard set fill. And then, for example, when you try to visualize or print in the console numerical numbers, you would have seen that the precision will stop at 6. Okay, after decimal point 6 numbers only displayed. Beyond that it won't be displayed. If you want to see all that, you can use set precision to actually view it, and you can get that particular value. For example, let me try to do this. Let me clear this off and let us enter double a equal to 3 point some numbers like this. And what I'm going to do is I'll go with standard console output. Okay, so I'll go with standard, okay, set precision. We have set precision, and I'm going to pass the value. Like for example, I'll set it to, I can set it to a whole number, which I can decide what is the precision I want till 8. Okay, and then I'll pass the value of a here. So let us see it in the output. Okay, so that whatever number I am asking, that much precision can be obtained, okay, together. Clear? So if you want, you can reduce it. For example, if you go with 2, it will be 3.1 in the result. Okay, 3 means it will give you the next number as well. So initially by default it won't be giving. So this functionality can be obtained with the help of set precision. So it is going to set it commonly. So whatever, if you have another number as well, for example float b equal to 4.2323. So if I want, I can display this as well. So I'll use a end line statement here. Okay, and then I'll go with standard console output. Okay, I'll display the value of b here. Let us run this. So you can see for this also it is setting the 3 precision which you have set it. So it is set it commonly. And so next thing is formatters. For example, if you have a number and if you want to display in different values, for example, you can display it as scientific value or hex value or octagon value. You can try to do that, okay, with the help of this respective. From standard scientific, if you want to denote it as a scientific value, for example standard scientific, and I'll pass the value of a here. Let us see what we are getting in the output. Okay, so you can see it is displaying it e to the power. Okay, so and it is just trying to display it as a scientific denotation. So for example, if I try to do in this number, big number, it is actually integer. Okay, let us see. Overflow, integers can't handle this big. Okay, so you can see this is how the result will be displayed, and that is the formatters. Okay, also you have format specifiers. For example, you can, for example, if you have used C program, you would have known that in C program we have a concept for displaying the output. Instead of C out, you can go with something called as printf statement. Okay, so printf is used in C program. For example, if you have an integer, okay, int x equal to 5, if you want to display or print this in the result, you can use this print formatted statement. Okay, and you can have any sentence like this. For example, the value of x is, and you have to create a placeholder here with the help of modulus, and then the format specifier. We have something known as d, which is for decimal, and I have to pass what's the value I want to pass here. If I want to pass x value, and let us see what is displayed in the output now. You can see, right, it is displaying the value of x is 5. How it is doing? So this is printf from C program. Since C++ is an extension of C, you can also get this way of representing with the help of printf, where you will be using format specifier, which type of format you are passing. Okay, for example, if your value of x is 67, okay, so if you pass it as a decimal, you will be getting, it will be displaying 67 in the result in the console. Okay, but if you are trying to use it as a character, modulus C is for character. Okay, so for according to character ASCII table, 67 is capital A, right? Sorry, capital C, it starts from 64. So that you will be getting based on the format you are specifying. Okay, so the format specifiers define the type of data to be printed on standard output from C program. So you can use that as well here. Like you have modulus C for a single character and S for string, and for short, long, int. Usually for decimal we use D, and for double we use F, and so on, long F and all, LF and all. Okay, so these are format specifiers and these are also allowed in C++. And today we have completed the remaining basics as well. So what all things we needed, we have completed the basics. Okay, so in the next session we will be discussing about conditional statements and looping statements. So we'll see there. Thank you, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. Thank you guys. And if you are planning to convert this masterclass into a certified internship, 1 month internship on C++, you can join as an internship user and you will be get benefited. You can get 30 days of live session, 90 days of access to the records, source code of project, hackathon, DSA topics, downloadable PPTs and internship certification. And the batch 1 ends today. The registration link is posted in chat box and in description, and the registration link is available there. You can get it all these benefits at a discounted fee at 899. So you will be getting additional DSA topics, and this first hackathon session is going to happen tomorrow. You will also be getting the code files of projects like hotel management system, taxi booking application and railway reservation system. So all these files can also be obtained as a benefit of this internship at 899. So thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow in session. And the price is 899 for this. You can get the registration link available in chat box and description. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.